pigeons. They suck. But I have to give a presentation on them. So, this is for you, my fellow pigeons. The ones I'm going to be talking about today is a rock pigeon, which is the pigeons that you typically see in those cliche grandma feeding the birds pictures. Which, I don't know, it's kind of cool, I guess. They're gray and white with a bit of blue sometimes. They have gray bars on their wings, which is kind of stupid in my opinion, but go on, I guess. They go from 11 to 14 inches tall in length, 9 to 13 pounds, and 9 to 27 inches in wingspan. Pigeons have a thin beak, which is useful if they want to use it as a straw for water. Also talents for defense, I guess. Also, they have wings or something, which is obvious. Pigeons usually eat seeds and fruits, but their diets changed when we came along in the modern world. Since they don't hunt and instead find whatever they see is tasty to eat because they forage, not only do they eat the seeds and fruits that we mentioned earlier, but they also eat the breadcrumbs that your grandma threw at them, the Cheetos that you threw at the street because you didn't want them anymore, or maybe even the disgusting moldy sandwich that is in the street and you don't want to touch. How do they eat? They peck the food like any other same bird. But luckily, they don't eat meat as they are herbivores, which is a relief for me. Imagine the sheer horror if they can actually eat meat. But they are consumers, so what should I say? They're not going extinct. There are at least 200 million still out there, I think. And they are held captive at places since they're everywhere, which is good, I guess? Heck, there's even one outside of my house right now, but they do get hunted down by sparrowhawks, cats, and foxes. You see that? That one pigeon outside right now! You're gonna get hunted down by my cat! Pigeons travel together in a pack, which depends from 50 to 500 pigeons, depending on how much food they found. They have names for the group, like a kid, a school, a flock, and more. They communicate by cooing at each other like this. What would happen if one day pigeons went extinct? Well, the good side would be that there wouldn't be any bird poop on your parents' car, and there wouldn't be any to steal your food sometimes. But if they did go away, there would be more wasted food on the streets since they eat your littered food that you sometimes leave out, and your grandma would finally give you the breadcrumbs to eat, which, in my opinion, breadcrumbs are nasty, so no, please live on, pigeons. But anyways, how do they reproduce? They don't. They're just used by the government to spy on you! Just kidding. They have eggs. The moms are the ones who carry them and lay them in the nest until they hatch. After 18 days, the babies hatch and they just vibe. Bye. 1 to 6 are born, and yes, some can die from environmental causes, but don't think that some of them will die, because that's not really cool. They may be horrifying close to being big as an adult pigeon, but they are helpless on their own. After some weeks, they learn how to fly and go off to do the magical bird stuff. Pigeons live in urban areas like farms, towns, and in neighborhoods because they want to be in places where they can get food easily. They don't live in places that are too hot or too cold, though. Their environment is just messy and depends on place to place. You can find them in busy places in some parts of the world since they travel to find food. Pollution is why pigeons are starting to have more problems with finding food. Not only will they choke on plastic they think it's food and find more trash than alert food, they can't really fly on polluted air and their babies tend to die more. And now, we're going to be talking about food chains. I have 2 in mind, so this shouldn't be too hard. The first one I have is some wheat. And that wheat is a producer. A pigeon comes around and eats that wheat. A pigeon is a consumer and also an herbivore, so there you go. But then a pigeon gets eaten by a fox. Now, a fox is a consumer but a predator, so there you go. A fox ate that pigeon. But the fox gets killed by a human, so oof. But don't worry, here's the second one. The second one is, let's say, some blueberries. A pigeon comes around and eats those blueberries. A blueberries is a producer, while a pigeon is a consumer and a herbivore. But then a cat comes around and eats the pigeon, sadly. And the cat is a consumer and also a predator. So there you go. That's it. Thanks for watching. Here's some credits.